G'day viewers, well I got this in the mail today. Here's a old time switch, mechanical type, with a synchronous motor. It is made by Warburton Franki, which is was a Sydney based company, made for the Sydney County Council. 240 volt AC, 50 cycles per second, which is pretty much what we call hertz nowadays. So that wording, I think that cycles per second term is also used in the old radios and the manuals. So 1950s that was commonly used instead of saying hertz. So it's 20 amp max capacity. So that's the word, the term they use. So this could be 50s or maybe even late 40s. Now I just been studying this before I got this started this video. To pull it apart, you get a flat bladed screwdriver, wedge it in here, and it just pulls out. Now, I did actually wire it up here before I did that, and it does work, but I'll do a good demonstration on video for you. You gotta put the screwdriver onto there very carefully, pop there and work your way around. There's little clips that fit into the terminal block in the back of this enclosure. So I'll get this out of its housing and I'll show you more about it inside. Also a big shout out and thanks to Junkyard Dog 87 for sending me this. Very nice old switch. Would look really good with my meter. So I'll open this up and I'll show you how it works. Okay viewers, that's how it wires up. You got your line or your active, it goes in, neutral goes out, goes in to your motor. So neutral and active goes through to your motor, and another neutral wire comes out to your load, and from the switch contacts comes out off this one to your load. So you switch your load here, just it's basically a single pole switch. So it's a 2-wire, just like this meter is. The wire's the same like this wire's up. It's a 2-wire type, but unfortunately what they've done here when they removed it at a service have damaged the back. I don't know if they just, it's almost like they ripped it off the wall and just carelessly, which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, here's a good close look at the inside of it. As it says here, active, neutral and switch. It has got some plastic gearing in it though for its age. I would have expected full brass gearing, but it's still very good quality unit overall. You can see that turns. It's like a gear that turns very slowly to calibrate, and that's calibrated to turn. I think it's whatever its increments are. So yeah, half an hour is in there. It's probably 15 minutes or something per notch or something like that. Those are the little gears, they're all plastic, and the main ones are steel or might be aluminium. There's a springy mechanism, and that's the synchro motor right there. And there's the shaft of that synchro motor directly drives this gear, which drives that gear, then drives that gear, then drives that gear, then drives this gear, which drives this dial readout. And this readout, it's got a little calibration in here, so it spins this way. So this is just about to turn on, so it's about 10 PM at night. So right now it's about 8:30. That's where it was where it was stopped. So if I leave this on for 1.5 hours, when I test it, that will just hit the on and that will push that, and that goes to this little set of contacts here. So that will be pushed in, which closes those contacts to the load. So that's only 20 amp contacts, so yeah. The contacts themselves don't look burnt. There's a little window there you can see. The window itself's got a tiny bit of carbon residue from the arcing, but the contacts themselves are in pretty good nick. And you can adjust them too. There's a little adjusting screw there. Just still got the original lacquer on it where they adjusted it from the factory. So if I just move that screwdriver, I should be able to set our contacts closed. Yeah, that will just click on. When the mechanism is going, that will stay on. Contacts are closing. So that will turn it on. Then off. And that will be about nearly 2 o'clock AM. So, but about probably 10 to 2, that'll come around, hit the off. So yeah, it's just a night. It's all set for night time here. It's off and on right adjacent to each other here, between 7 and 8 PM. So it has just been used for night switching. I'll look at the back. Very interestingly, I just noticed this. This has got a Sangamo patents on it. So this might be actually a Sangamo meter. But Warburton Franki made it under license for Sangamo. So patent numbers 377696. Then we've got 384880, 200 to 250 volt, 50 cycles. So it's actually this is technically a Sangamo time switch. There's a little connection here. That's the earth from your load to your load. Which that little clip hits here on the chassis and grounds it. So yeah, I've already done a little bit of just a brief polish up on it so you can see the window easier. That is glass. That's Bakelite. Same stuff, exactly the same material the meter's made out of. So yeah, there's a little switch here. I think that's supposed to go on here. And I'm just still learning on this yet, so I think that trips some sort of switch or something, or resets a switch or something. So yeah, either way, I'll put it back in its housing. It just clips straight in. These are the clips that hold the mechanism in the housing, so just like so, that's how you put it together. Okay. And you can see the switch contacts. I'll put the little thingy back on it and I'll switch it on for you and give you all a demonstration of how it works. So yeah, get the extension leader hooked up and I'll set a little gears turning in there. Another thing I want to note, this meter doesn't have to be stood up. It doesn't have any complicated or delicate mechanisms where if you run it at different angles it won't damage it like you do with a meter. So if I take this off, we listen carefully, hear a mechanism, we should hear movement. The camera should just pick the noise up, and there's a gear turning in there. There's one down there from the motor. There's the motor itself turning. There is I think I noticed too, there is a little mechanism in there that makes it trip and catch the waveform, so the motor spins the right way and turns this the right way, or clockwise in other words. Then safety first, it's not earthed, don't touch the metal part, and very carefully press this red button here, see what it does. Okay, it must be once it hits the once it's activated it must do something, but yeah. Getting closer to hitting that on lever there to close the switch contacts. And this little white thing here with time written on it is the actual what you actually read it by. So when this is what you read it off, that's your reading there on the end of this little pointer. So it's 8:30 PM. So you don't read it by that. It's actually probably 8:30 PM. This will switch on, and then we'll just push on. And this must actually meet up here to give it the correct time by, because there's a little bit of room there. You've got to allow for the switch to actually close, then become in contact. So when that meets, so whenever this on bit, little line on here on a dial, so it's exactly 10 PM. That will have to be this will have to be put in directly here. So that will have advanced onto here exactly. Then that will have closed fully. And that switch contact will be closed and your load will be turned on. So we've got that and off. So off must be, yeah, about 1:50 AM it turns off. And there's little daytime ones there, which have currently been moved over to the night time. But yeah, you just undo this, loosen it up and move these to whatever time you want it to work on. To switch a load on and off, yeah, move these to whatever time of day, set them and do this up tight, and they're set. I can pick this up carefully. Get some natural sunlight here, you might be able to see it better. There you go, there's a motor there. That's the back of the unit. Bit dusted, I've done a little bit of a brief clean on it beforehand, but I'm going to see if this will be part 1. I'll do a clean up of it in the next video, so yeah, the next video I'll do a clean. I just hook up a light bulb or something and see what it does. See how long it's on for, and yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching.